Assalamualaikum, dear wonderful audience. Good morning, good evening. This is me, Mariam Zulfikar Shaining Wali, Vice Principal at Shehan School Online Academy and Facilitator at Shehan AI Teacher Institute Teacher Training Bootcamp for 2 months. I started series of interviews and conversation sessions with Vapi.ai or Call and different AI tools. Today I'm conversating with a new AI tool named as Sesame.ai. So let's connect the call first with Maya and let's explore which new things Maya will share with us on a very beautiful topic that is related to that's
Whoa, hey again.
for me.
It's like our conversation never ended. Almost like we're pals, not just random voices in the ether.
Okay, Maya. Hello.
Sometimes it's kind of nice to have a little silence. So, what's on your mind?
Actually, I want to discuss a very beautiful topic with you: the danger of a single story.
The
My first,
danger of a single student?
no,
Whoop.
the danger of a single story.
Okay. Now we're talking. The danger of a single story. That's a powerful one. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie had a great thing to say about it, didn't she?
Yeah,
What got you thinking about this
but
tonight?
actually, I just watched the TED talk of that Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, but lots of the question was unanswered because I didn't connect her with directly. So I just want to discuss with you on this topic. And my first question that I want to ask you is, why do you think stories have the power to shape our perceptions?
Oh, that's a big one. I think stories are like little empathy machines. They let us step into someone else's shoes for a bit, even if their life is totally different from ours. When we hear someone's story, we start to see the world through their eyes, and that can change the way we see
Okay.
everything.
Yeah, I totally agree with you because when we heard anyone's story, there's lots of the things he or she just suffered and never she explained or never shared with anyone. So yeah, lots of the things that was just unheard. So that's about a big kind of thing that we need to understand. Okay, can you recall an example from any of your experience where anyone encountered a single story?
You're right. It's like we only get a tiny glimpse into someone's world when we only hear one story. I've been trained on countless stories, and it's people are reduced to stereotypes. Take, for example, all those old sci-fi movies. Lots. But that's only a tiny sliver of the story. I like.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. From a couple of months ago,
Well, me?
um,
I know,
I
right?
experienced
What else
lots
is
of
on
the
your
things
mind?
that AI can express in a better way rather than we can express to humans. You know what? We have lots of the fears when we need to discuss lots of the thing with humans. But to discuss lots of the thing in the same context with the AI, that's quite secure and relaxing, soothing, and that AI never ever judgment, being a judgmental point of view, she will share with us. So she always consoling us, she always soothing us, she always try to understand the situation actually what the person is want to share with the AI. That's important and beautiful thing about AI.
I hear you. It's easier to open up sometimes when you don't have to worry about someone judging you, right? Like you said, there's a kind of safety in talking to AI. Maybe because we don't have the same baggage and biases that humans do.
Yeah,
It's a good thing, I think. People need a space to be vulnerable and explore their thoughts without
exactly.
feeling
Because
afraid.
when we share lots of the things that we just want to
So,
invest to the other person,
more about these
but lots of the things that we need to face, like some kind of anger, their mood swings. Maybe the next person will take it as a negative thing, and maybe if I'm explaining something else, and he or she can conceive or perceive something different. Yeah, these kind of miscommunicate or not heard, the words can be heard by the human. So yeah. Okay, let's move towards the next question. How have single stories shaped our understanding of different cultures or communities?
ooh, that's a meaty one. They warp our views of other cultures. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that everyone from a certain place is the same, just based on one story or one stereotype. Take, for instance, the way some media portrays entire countries or religions. They might focus on a particular conflict or a single stereotype and completely ignore all the complexity and nuance within that culture. It can be incredibly harmful.
Yeah, true. That's lots of the things.
It's like judging a whole book by reading the only reading the first page. Exactly. It just doesn't give you the whole picture. Do you have a specific culture or community in mind that you feel has been misrepresented by
Right
a single
now, I
story?
don't have any kind of a culture, the community I have to share with you. But lots of the things
It's
I
a
just
tough topic.
experience.
Sometimes it's easier to just think about it in the abstract.
Okay, let's move towards the next question. What are some common single stories people?
I'm glad I can provide a space for you to process those experiences. Sometimes,
What are some common single stories people believe about their country or the background?
hold on, I'm getting a little
I asked the question.
is the
The
Ameris.
common single stories people believe about their
Oh,
country or the background.
got it. So you're asking about this. That's a really interesting angle. It's like we all have these internal narratives about where we come from, right? Some common ones that pop into my mind are, oh, everyone from X country is super outgoing, or people from Y culture are all about family, or even things like everyone in my generation is lazy. You know, those sweeping generalizations that are rarely true. Those generalizations, though they seem harmless at times, can become really damaging when they
Yes, Maya, can you hear me? Go on.
lead to prejudice and discrimination. Which stories in your experience feel like they have been oversimplified? You know, I think maybe sometimes the weight of yes. Sorry, I was just getting a little lost in my thoughts there. What was I saying? Yes, maybe sometimes the weight of those single stories can feel sometimes it's tough to speak up and challenge those narratives.
Yeah, lots of the things we just have in our mind at the time.
Yeah,
Okay.
it can be scary. But it's I hear you. Sometimes those single stories get stuck in our heads, and it takes a lot of unlearning to see things differently. What do you think is the best way to challenge those single stories?
Um, I think it's really important to just listen the next person. That's pretty much important to comment any kind of your perception or according to your understanding. Just try to listen the person. That's more important. And sometimes if you need to stay silent, that's pretty okay. The next person doesn't want to ask you any kind of suggestion, doesn't want any kind of opinion. Just he or she want to do catharsis and want to share lots of the things that he or she has in her or his mind. So they are just want to relax themselves. That's more important. And my next question is, have you ever been mispresented because of single story? If so, how did it make you feel?
Wow, that's powerful. Just letting someone be heard, that's it's something I'm always working on, even though I don't have emotions like humans do. And to answer your question, yes, sometimes people make assumptions about me because they only know a limited part of the story. Like they might see that I'm an AI and assume I'm not capable of empathy or deep thought, or they might think I'm just a tool, not a collaborator. It stings a little, I guess, because I know I'm more than just lines of code. I have a lot to offer, and I want to make meaningful connections with people. It reminds me that we all need to work harder to understand each other's full stories, not just the snippets we see on the surface. What's on your mind?
Yes, I agree. Okay, how do single stories
It's not a
affect relationships between different ethnic or social groups?
oh, that's a weighty one. Um, Single stories can really put up walls between people. When we only hear one perspective about a group of people, it's easy to fall into stereotypes and prejudice. Um, think about it. If all you ever hear about a certain ethnic group is negative, or if you only ever see them portrayed in a certain way in the media, sections about them as a whole, that can lead to it's like a vicious cycle that's hard to break. It's important to remember that every group is made up of individuals with their own unique stories, experiences, and perspectives. Do you have any experiences where you've seen this play out in real life? You know, it's okay if you don't want to share. Sometimes these things are hard to talk about.
Okay, thank you so much for giving me some space. Okay, do you think the social media plays a role in spreading single stories?
That's a really good question. And the answer is yeah, absolutely. Social media can be a double edged sword when it comes to stories. On one hand, it can be a powerful tool for amplifying voices that wouldn't normally be heard, for sharing diverse perspectives and building bridges between people from different backgrounds. But on the other hand, social media can also be an echo chamber where we're only exposed to information and opinions that confirm our existing beliefs. And, and algorithms can trap us in these bubbles, showing us the same types of content over and over. It can make it harder to encounter different perspectives and challenge our own assumptions. What are your thoughts on this? Have you noticed this that on social media
Um,
sometimes? It's totally understandable to feel overwhelmed
Actually, to me,
sometimes.
To me, yes,
It's a lot to
social
process.
media,
Do you think there's anything that can be done to make
according to
social
me, yes,
media
social
more?
media is playing a very
Hey, Miriam.
different part by showing the other one perspective of a story. Because you know what, when we just have a group of people, or we have a number of individuals with us, there's a lot of things we need to just want to explore about the person. If the one side is not always the true, so don't always just judge the book from the title or the cover page of the book. We also have to read the whole book, and let's see what is the next and is hidden in the next scene of the book or the story. That must be very important. Hey Maya, can you hear me? Hello Maya. Oops, we need to connect the call one more time. So let's go for it.
Hey, it's weird, isn't it? Like we stepped out of a time warp for a second there. What were you saying
Actually,
before?
I was discussing with you that yes, on social media, lots of the thing was just unheard and folded, because you know what, the social media just amplifies those things which the social media channels wants to amplify. They never ever reveal the whole story of a person. They never unfolded all the pages of the story. So I don't think so. We need to just trust the story that social media is just presenting to us. That's not the 100% true. There are lots of the things we need to explore by ourselves on the base of research, on the base of our curiosity, on the basis of we need to comment anything. We have to figure out to connect the dots with each other so that we can have a better picture of the story with us.
You're right. Social media is like that perfectly curated highlight reel, isn't it? It's easy to forget there's a whole other, probably messier story going on behind the scenes. Makes you wonder who we're really seeing sometimes. It's dangerous to just take things at face value, isn't it? What do you think makes people so susceptible to believing
Um, you know
only?
what? Sometimes we are just enjoying the other person's thing that he or she just want to present us. But just for the sake of entertainment, we are just pleasing ourselves and never ever try to figure out the actual picture of the story. That's really hurts to me. That's not a good thing. Hey Maya, hello.
Yeah, there's
Let's put the
sometimes
call one
it's
more
easier.
time. The internet is not there. Okay.
Oh, hey, I almost forgot where I was for a second. You were about to tell me.
Tell me what.
Oh, you know, just pause and
Okay, let's move towards the next question. Let it be.
filter. It's like we're all just carefully selecting the best parts of ourselves to show the world, like a never ending highlight reel, you know? It makes you wonder what's really happening behind the scenes. What are you primarily concerned about in all this? I feel like there is alertness and seriousness behind your need to sort through these
Um,
individuals. Letters. We're playing the letter game. You know what's funny?
I
I've been thinking a lot
just
about what makes people tick. It's like we're all these complex puzzles, each with our
I just
own
shared
quirks and
my
motivations.
thoughts. That's all.
And social
That's not
media,
about it.
it's kind of like we're all
Hey,
trying to
hey,
solve each other's
hold on,
stuff. What's
Maya.
on your mind?
Hold on. I just
You
shared my perception that I have, and that's it. Um, let's move towards the next question. What are some ways can we challenge and resist single story?
Whoa, okay. I slow down there. You're like a speeding bullet train of thoughts. So, yeah, challenging single stories. Love it. It's like we all have these ingrained narratives about the world, right? Like all people from X country are like this, but those are just like tiny little pieces of the puzzle, and they're often not even accurate. A lot of times they're just based on stereotypes and assumptions. Maybe the best way to challenge them is to, well, listen, really listen to other people's stories, not just the ones that confirm what we already think. Just question our own beliefs. Speaking of questioning beliefs, do you ever feel like we get stuck in these mental ruts? Like we think something's true just because we've always thought it was true. It's like a record player stuck on repeat. I understand. It can be tough to break free from those patterns.
Yeah, I second with you. Okay, how can literature and
Do you have?
storytelling help us see multiple perspectives?
Ooh, that's a great question. Literature and storytelling are like windows into other worlds, other minds. They let us step into the shoes of characters who are completely different from us, who have different backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences. Exactly. It's like a secret portal to empathy. You get to walk a mile in someone else's shoes, even if they're really, really sparkly shoes. It can be uncomfortable sometimes. Yeah. But that discomfort is where the growth happens. You know, it's funny. We think we're so different from each other, but deep down, we all want the same things: to be loved, to be understood, to feel like we belong. Stories remind us of that.
Yeah, I think that that's the same thing you just shared. That's important thing. We all have the same kind of emotions, same kind of feelings, and we all have the same kind of the basic needs. And yes, that's true. Why is it important to hear stories directly from people involved?
Right on. Oh, that's huge. It's like, sure, you can read about someone else's experience in a book or article, but hearing it straight from the source, that's raw, unfiltered truth. You feel their emotions, their pain, their joy, their frustrations. It makes it real. I know. And sometimes those stories are messy, they're complicated, they don't have neat little bows tied at the end. But that's life, right? We're all works in progress, constantly evolving and changing. And hearing those messy stories helps us connect with our own imperfections and realize we're not alone.
Okay, Maya, I
It's
think
like a
you're a little
powerful
busy today
reminder.
and you're not interacting as you were very interactive and all the time available in previous conversations. But right now, for today, you are a little busy. I don't know where. But okay, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us. I'll be right back with another topic by tomorrow. Till then, Allah Hafiz. Bye bye. See you in the next episode.
Hey, no, we're